watching Friday Night Football Fever, presented by TCU.
Welcome back to Friday Night Football Fever. It's a matchup that we've all been waiting for, a pivotal road game for the 6th-ranked Fighting Irish as they take on number 14 Clemson. If the end goal is winning a national championship, a win in Death Valley would go a long way for the Irish.
You know, these are the matchups you want to play in.
Excited to have an opportunity to play Notre Dame.
It just brings out the best in everybody.
This is something you'll remember for the rest of your life.
This is why you play the game of football. This is what you dream of as a little kid.
You're not ready for this game, and you don't know why you're playing college football.
Welcome back to Friday Night Football Fever tonight, coming to you from Clemson's Death Valley. Pete Byrne along with Carl Deffenbaugh. And Carl, I guess we can call this the calm before the storm.
Yes.
Literally and figuratively. It is going to be wet tomorrow, and it is going to be wild in here.
Yeah, Pete, I've had the pleasure of covering one game here before, and everything you've heard about how impressive that entrance is when the players race down the hill to how crazy the atmosphere here gets is they're not lying to you. It's wild in here, indeed. And that was a day game. This is going to be a primetime top 15 matchup with major college football playoff implications.
Yeah, the home field advantage for Clemson here in Death Valley is very real. They've won 24 of their last 25 games played here in this stadium, the one exception being 2 years ago when they lost to Florida State, the eventual national champions. We've been talking to the Notre Dame players all week long about this game. They're understandably fired up for this top 15 matchup. A natural question mark coming into this game is sophomore quarterback Deshaun Kaiser. How will he fare under the lights in this wild environment and what also happens to be his first career road start?
You know, I would be surprised if the moment was too big for him. I'm sure, like everybody else, there'll be, you know, those butterflies and some nervousness. But I think once we get into the flow of the game, he's going to be fine.
Obviously, this is the first time that I'll really, you know, get and play in front of, you know, 90,000 plus screaming fans from, you know, down south. As long as I'm comfortable in my own shoes and I believe in the game plan and I fully get the game plan, it will be completely all right, and we'll be able to, you know, do the things that we always do.
You don't feel like you're putting a freshman quarterback out there. You know, you don't sense that or feel that. And so I think that's all about a presence, and he has that about him. And I see that every day he comes out there, he takes control of that offensive unit. It's not meek, it's not weak, it's a presence that he brings when he goes out there.
Now we have seen a few glimpses, Carl, of what that looks like 3 weeks ago when he came in relief at Virginia. Then the following week in his first career start against a very good Georgia Tech team. But there's another variable he will be dealing with too, the weather.
Yeah, that's for sure. Mother Nature's going to have a huge impact on this game for both sides, Clemson and Notre Dame. We've been following Hurricane Joaquin and the surrounding storms for so long, dumping rain on this part of the East Coast. And while Clemson was relatively dry today, they are expecting what they're calling historic rainfalls throughout the weekend. We will see how that affects the game. The game will be played tomorrow night. That's what Clemson officials tell us. And the Irish, for their part, aren't too worried about the conditions.
Looking back in high school, I never really had too big of an issue when it came to rain. I have, you know, pretty good-sized hands where I grip the ball pretty well. Some of my best games in high school came in the rain, so it doesn't necessarily worry me. It's definitely something that I haven't experienced lately, but we'll definitely prepare for that with using wet balls during practice.
Notre Dame's hasn't been here since 1977, is not coming back till 2023. People are going to come.
Of course, if the conditions are wet and sloppy, it certainly helps if you can run the ball effectively, and that's exactly what C.J. Prosise and the Irish offensive line have done to start 2015. His 600 yards so far, in fact, are a school record through the first 4 games of a season.
It's definitely going to be wild in here. Probably going to be soaking wet too, and who knows, Carl, that might just turn out to be the perfect formula for an epic college football game between the Irish and the Clemson Tigers. That's going to wrap up our coverage tonight from here in Death Valley. Adam Derengowski will be back with more Friday Night Football Fever right after this.